Hey guys, it's Sam. Today I'm going to be talking about the top 5 reasons why I love ring-bound planners. I recently did a video about the top 5 reasons why I love Hobonichi Weeks, and all of those things still apply, but I'm coming to terms with the fact that I love ring-bound planners for like my day-to-day messy planning, and I love the Hobonichi Weeks for its memory planning aspect. And I know that not everybody does that, and honestly I didn't think that I would be that person either, but that's just basically what I'm coming to terms with. The rings works best for me day to day, and I love to look back through a Hobonichi Weeks. So here are the top 5 reasons why I love a ring bound planner. And the first one is going to be that it's 100% custom to you. With lots of different planner companies out there, you can choose certain things, this kind of layout versus that kind of layout, horizontal, vertical, all of those things. You can often find a cover that can be custom to you, but generally you are stuck with some parameters in the planner order. And with the rings, most of the companies that you can choose either sell inserts or they come with inserts, Filofax being one of them. And while those might be really great inserts and you might love them, if you don't, you're still not stuck with what that planner company deems to be the best guts for your planner. So you can, with your ring bound planners, make everything to your liking. Of course, you choose the planner cover itself that you think is going to be best suited to your needs. And with ring bound planners, there are tons of different companies out there, so it's really easy, especially in the more standard sizes like personal is. You can find all kinds of different varieties out there, made with different materials and different layouts to your liking. But the insides themselves are the thing that I just think really makes a ring bound planner special. You choose whatever you want. You choose the kind of paper that you want, you choose if it's printable or if it's not printable, and you can just search the internet. There are different planner shops with freebies or paid. You just search around until you find the one that works best for you. For me personally, in my calendar section, I have 3 different companies that I am using their products for just within this one calendar section. So this one is Pink Mouse Planners, this one's from Plan with Bee, and the monthly inserts that I'm using are from Peanuts Planner Co. The world is your oyster. You just choose what you think is going to work best for you and you build your planner out of it. So everything about a ring planner is completely customizable. The thing that is most important to me, and number 2, is going to be that I find that I have no paralysis when it comes to how I feel in rings versus how I feel when I get especially a blank plain book like a bullet journal and I sit down and I think about writing in it. And every time I crack open a Stalogy, unless it's just for like a journal, which is fine, and I don't know why the disconnect is there, I think it's just the way I build my planner. Whenever I have that open book with all of these empty pages waiting to be filled, I'm always thinking about how I'm going to screw this up. And I know that some of you do not share my frustration or the same issues that I have when it comes to this, but I just find myself afraid that it's going to like get wrecked by me. And if you don't have that same kind of anxiety surrounding an empty book, I'm really, really happy for you. And I've tried so hard to be that person, but so far in my life, I have just not been able to make that work. So the fact that I am not fearful about writing this in these pages is just what I need. And that brings me to my 3rd point, which is that I feel like I can brain dump freely in these pages. Since I don't have the paralysis, I find myself going to my notes and writing down whatever I want. This little Filofax tab thingy here is this is where my brain dump, my running to-do list, as far as like I can easily turn here if we have a free day and say, okay, these are the things that I'm going to get done or need to get done. The task list is from Simple and Trendy Co. And then everything behind that is just different kinds of paper, because sometimes I want a structured to-do list. Sometimes I just want to scratch things down, and these pages are perfect for that. For me, I think the important thing about using a paper planning system is that if you have a thought, you should be able to write it down. And since I don't fear writing on this paper, and I know that it doesn't have to be permanent and I can rip it out if it's no longer relevant, or if I hate the way it looks, and I can go ahead and get a new piece of paper and rewrite the things down in a more neat way, I don't feel fearful about writing those things down. And the whole point of having a book-bound planner or a paper planner is that you get the stuff out of your head. So the fact that I don't have the paralysis and can brain dump freely, I just find myself not missing things, remembering something that I wanted to share with my husband later, notes, quotes, all the things. And this is just a better way for me because, and this is point number 4, I can organize my planner with tabs and dividers. And you can do that to an extent as well with a book-bound planner or a spiral-bound planner or notebook. But where Rings wins, in my opinion, is the fact that you can move this stuff around. And so I always slit my pages because there is a hang up of working around the rings. But if you slit your pages, you don't have to worry about that. So let's take an example. I have an idea for, let's just say, redoing my office. So I have some ideas for redoing my office. If I decide that that's not something that we're going to do for right now, I can discard that paper if I want to, or I can move it to this section, lists and notes. And I know that this section is where I'm going to find these things because I labeled it lists and notes. And if that section is no longer relevant to me, I don't have to have that section anymore. But while it is relevant, I'm able to put it here and find it easily. And so I kind of liken the fact that you have these planner tabs in your planner as like the open tabs that you have in your browser. For me, I don't really use a computer that often, but I am always using my phone or my iPad. So if I want to remember something, I save it as an open tab in my browser. Don't ask how many I have because it's kind of embarrassing. But it's like, oh, I need to remember this for later. And so it's the same thing with my planner, except for that it's more organized and I don't have to just like scroll through it. And I know that in some ways, having an index page at the beginning of a bound book kind of does the same thing, but I love that I can move this to a section, this whatever list or whatever I made that day, move it into a place where it belongs, and I can change my mind. If it's very, very relevant, I've written this list and it's here. Let's see, so for like this. Okay, so I have this stuff written down for Christmas coming up this year. And while it's not really relevant for right now because we're nowhere near Christmas, once it does become relevant, I can easily move that to the front here, which is where I'm going to open it when I'm out and about. And so I just love the fact that you can do all of that, organize it and reorganize it as needed. So nothing feels, again, so permanent that you're afraid to make a decision about it, because if that ends up not working, you just move it somewhere else. And that brings me to the last point, and that is that you keep what you need as long as it's relevant, for as long as you need it. So going back to this, I've had these for a while now, and they're still relevant because this is a good way to try to trigger your memory for what you need to be doing. I'm not going anywhere right now, but this is going to be helpful when we go on our next trip. When I was taking notes for my color theory, these are things that I want to remember. And so I wrote this quite a while ago, but this is still relevant to me. Maybe it's not relevant from day to day, but these are the kinds of things when I think about adding a new piece of jewelry or looking for some makeup or choosing my wardrobe, I use this piece of paper as well as some color wheel charts that I have saved in my phone. And they're in their own little tab too, because I reference those kinds of things pretty frequently. So I might not need this piece of paper this week or this month, but I'll use it at some point. And sometimes, depending on what I'm doing, I might use it very frequently. And then when this piece of paper is no longer relevant in my life, I just discard it, and the rest of my planner is very useful. I have a lot of things that are like that in my ring planners, and I love that I don't have to rewrite that information and that I don't have to lose that information. And I feel like it's time well tended to because I write it down once and I can carry it with me. Yeah, those are my top 5 reasons why I love a ring planner. I know that you're probably on one side of the fence or the other. You love rings or you hate rings, but I definitely love them and have used them for years, and hopefully I gave you some ideas for why they might fit into your planner system as well. If you've never tried them, I do suggest you give them a try at least once. There are some really affordable ring cover brands out there that you wouldn't have to invest a whole lot to give it a shot. I'd love to hear what you think about ring planners in the comments below. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new around here and don't want to miss out on future videos, I hope you'll subscribe. Thanks so much as always for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye guys.